Boxing King Media, powered by the Riyadh Season and BYD. Mr. Johnny Fisher, straight out of Magistrates Court. Did you get cleared, Johnny?
We're in the clear, mate. Me and Mark Tibbs, we tried a little number on the a little heist. It didn't come off, but we live to fight another day. I've just given myself away, haven't I? Oh no.
Just for clarity, because somebody out there will believe that we're actually in the Guildhall. In fact, they used to sentence people there years ago. They actually did. Do you know the history of this place?
Clickbait me now. Yeah, well, it was like the epicenter of not only legal matters, but the administrative stuff that happened in the city, dating back to the 14th century. It even goes back further than that, as a town hall to the 12th century. Not to be confused with City Hall, which is about the administrative nature of Greater London. So this is a very historical site. That's as deep as my knowledge goes on it. I don't know too much more, but it's a very important, imperative site in the City of London.
I genuinely didn't expect you to come out with that. Mate, you literally just like blowing me away.
It's just literally, if I go and visit a nice place like this, I'll just have a little research on the Wikipedia pages, on any articles that have done about it. It takes 2 or 3 minutes, but it lets you appreciate the place a little bit more. It's not nothing bad, mental, but it's nice to appreciate something when you're here.
Indeed, I respect that, man. And the Barmy Army, the Essex boys are finally going to Riyadh. I think people have been talking about it. When's it going to happen? And it's happening.
Well, I just spoke to Spencer, and we're going to get the old tickets out. He's going to liaise with Big John, and we're hopefully going to get a few hundred out there, which would be amazing. Get a plane full out there, that'd be great.
I just asked Mark, Johnny, and some of the conspiracies that were out there when this fight got announced. They were saying, your injury that you pulled out with, how can you be so fit within 10 weeks? Yeah, the Twitter conspiracy theorists. So I'll let you set them straight.
Well, I tore the muscle belly of the bicep. So normally what happens is my Dr. Ramon, a good man, normally the bicep tendon gets torn or it detaches. And that's a 6-month fix. It's a pretty simple fix, but it takes time. What's happened to me here, which is quite unusual, there's a tear down the middle of the bicep, in the belly of it. And if that gets too big, trying to repair that is trying to sew a paper bag back together. So the tear was only very, very small and narrow, because I got it checked out quickly and got it sorted thanks to the doctors. But if you tear that and damage it even more, I've got to be very careful, because then it becomes one that you might take 1 or 2 years to heal. It might never heal. So it wasn't a detached bicep or a tendon tear, it was an actual muscle belly tear, which can be a lot more serious if it gets big.
So if
clear it out?
Yeah, hopefully that settles it for him. And if I'm Dave Allen, I'm punching that arm.
Yeah, well, it's fine now, it's strong. The good thing is, me and Sonny and the work we do in the gym, and Mark obviously with our boxing training, but the strength and conditioning training, he said, I'm so unusual that the tendons have stayed intact. And it's actually, as the tendon becomes muscle, that's where I tore it. So he said, normally you see damage to the tendon, but we've solidified them so much and I'm strong. So yeah, I'm made of strong stuff.
Good stuff, man. So you're fully fit for this fight. So when you look at Dave Allen, who was just there 10 yards away, what do you think when you see him stood there as a father of 2 kids?
I see a veteran who sees a ticket to big nights like this for 2 or 3 times. If he puts in a good performance with me, it buys him a ticket to some bigger fights. So at the end of the day, I like Dave. I've got respect for him. He's an honourable man, but fighting an honourable man demands my best performance and my most clinical performance.
Do you hold any, because obviously you talked about the sparring you guys had years ago. You said he had the better of you. Does that psychologically do anything for you in this fight?
What, me with Dave Allen, the sparring?
Yeah. Well, you said he obviously handed you.
Manhandled me a little bit. But what I can take away from that is I weren't afraid, and I kept coming forward. I took the damage and I was staying in there. And from that day forward, I knew I could be a professional boxer, because I can handle someone and show the strength and show the will of character, which is more important than having any skills. To be in there and hang with heavyweights. And he was about to fight Lucas Brown a couple of weeks later, and he put on his career best performance, I think. And I was only a 19, 20-year-old kid at that point and not really boxing at all. So I knew I had the minerals from that day, Yeah.
That'd be Wardley just rocking up. Last question I've got for you. Your whole boxing journey so far. I've seen you in the gym sparring, so I know how good you are, and obviously you've shown that in the fights as well. So I see a lot of people making comments about the whole PR side of it. With what you and your dad do. Yep. How important is that? And do you think other fighters should do that as well? Because people refer to it as a gimmick, but you see the eyes and numbers he gets on social media, and that obviously helps with the ticket sales as well as I'm guessing.
It's important for that side of it, but is it important if I'm a boxer? Probably not. Doesn't mean anything. I'm a boxer, I'm a fighter. I do that. That's just my personality. I've got my brother Henry who runs all our socials. He's really good at that. He gets it all out there. Big John is Big John, and he always have character, and I've got character as well, and I'm only going to be myself. I don't try and fake it, and if people like watching it, Emery will keep putting it out there. But when it comes to boxing, it doesn't matter if I've got personality or not. I've got to beat the man in front of me, so that's all that matters.
I love that. Last question for you. I asked a lot of people in the last few weeks if they got any fears or phobias. Have you got any fears or phobias, Johnny?
Snakes. I hate snakes. Human ones as well. But snakes.
Name one.
Well, a human one.
Yeah.
Judas Iscariot traded the life of Jesus Christ for 30 pieces of silver. The original snake.
Love that. Johnny Fisher, always thank you, brother. All the best not Saturday night, in 10 weeks.
8 weeks Saturday.
8 weeks.
Good
Thank
man.
you.